Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Happy Friday. I hope you guys had a really good 4th of July, the last couple of days or so. I know we've been hearing a lot of fireworks here. Actually, not today, but over the course of the last 4 or 5 days at night, we've been hearing quite a few fireworks. So there's a lot more this year. So welcome back, guys, to my coffee break conversations. And I thought today I wanted to talk about something a little more, I guess, positive in a way. I usually talk about different challenges that we all experience and different things that we go through as humans, right? Entrepreneurs, and the struggles that we kind of go through. And today I wanted to kind of honor the highs and lows of our life with love and compassion and kind of on a lighter note. So a lot of the times I think we don't really take the time to honor our lives at all, right? We just sort of float through life, go through life, and nothing, we just don't really do much else, just go through life. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here. I've been having tickles in my throat today. I don't know why, guys. So just having regular coffee today. But yeah, I think a lot of the times we kind of fail to really honor the highs and lows of our life overall. And one of the things, if you guys listened to my live the other day, my Facebook live, I kind of talked about starting the new chapter of my book, going through the chapter of my book, on the very first part of it, explaining my story. And I kind of, from a perspective, got just the highs and lows of my life kind of laid out in front of me. Because, when we go back, and I'm tying this in a little bit to the live that I did the other day, when we go back to our past, we kind of have a tendency to go back and just sort of wallow in it, right? And we don't give ourselves a chance to feel love and feel compassion for maybe what we've gone through or maybe the good times in our life. We tend to beat ourselves up. We tend to take like a bat or a hammer. You just whack, whack, whack. You're just hitting your head and like, why am I doing this? What's wrong with me? We have a tendency to kind of want to do that. I know I have in my own life. I've had a tendency to want to really just look at what I've done or what I haven't done and just beat myself up like crazy over it, right? When really, guys, what we really, really, really need to do and what we really crave is we crave to have that love and we crave to have that compassion in our life. And if we're not getting that, if we're not receiving that compassion and we're not receiving that love, and we're not giving it, right? A lot of the times we just tend to put ourselves down and get really down on ourselves. And so what I've learned, and over the last couple of years, and you guys always hear me say this and I've heard myself say this, the last couple of years for me, the last 2 or 3 years for me, how come I see a bug crawling on the machine? I swear I do. I might see. I thought I seen a bug crawling on the camcorder. Guys, I'm sorry, but I swore I seen something moving. We've got bugs this year. We literally have lots of bugs, and I don't know if it's because of the rain. Do you see anything? I swore I saw something crawling on there.
On here.
No, on the back.
Back here.
Oh, it's a flying bug.
Some little gnat.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We've been having these strange, I guess because of the rains and stuff, we've been getting bugs like crazy. Just flying bugs, mosquitoes, I mean, you name it. It's been nuts. But anyway, sorry, guys. Back to what I was saying. I was just looking at the camera and going, wait, I'm seeing something move around here. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, with feeling compassion and feeling love, we tend not to give that to our own self, right? We think maybe it feels selfish. We shouldn't be giving ourselves the love and compassion that we need. But yet we crave it. We crave it every single day. And a lot of the times, what I have found with people, and even in my own life, personally, is when we're craving something, we find other ways to get it, right? We find other ways to get that love, to get that compassion, to get that comfort, to get that feeling of gratification. And a lot of times we end up doing it in ways that aren't really helpful for us. Like sometimes if you're feeling like you're just craving that compassion for yourself, you're craving that love, you don't know how to go about getting it. A lot of times it comes out in other ways. Like, some people will go shopping. I mean, like, not just shopping just to shop. I mean, shopping, they buy all the things, right? They buy all these things. They spend like hundreds and hundreds of dollars in one shopping on just stuff they don't need. Because that fills a gap, right? It fills a gap within them. It fills temporarily, though. It's not really solving the problem. It's just filling a need temporarily. It makes them feel better. It makes them feel loved. It makes them feel pampered. It makes them feel kind of really good, right? To go out and do some shopping and come back and go, hey, I got all this stuff, right? But then what happens is that temporary feeling of happiness goes away. And then it's filled again with beating yourself up and the whole cycle of all that, right? So I think when we're going through, like I found this for me, especially with writing this book now in my first chapter, I've gone through in a much deeper sense my story on a much deeper emotional sense. And I'm finding it to where instead of going through it, and I started out feeling a little like, oh gosh, this is difficult. And it was uncomfortable for me to write write the first chapter. It was very uncomfortable for me. Even though I look back at it, was stories from my past, different things that had happened, the growth that I have seen. And I would have a tendency at first to want to go, what is wrong with me? Why, beat myself up, so to speak, on this is crazy. But then I caught myself and I was like, wait a minute. I should be giving myself all the love and compassion for, first of all, taking and writing this out and feeling the feelings and writing it out and love myself through this experience. And what I have found, and it sounds selfish, I know, guys, because you're thinking, well, we're not used to, with society, we are not used to coming from a place of loving ourselves and giving compassion and caring for ourselves. We come from a different level, being taught that it is selfish to love ourselves. It is selfish to give ourselves compassion. It's selfish to give ourselves kind of a good for you, a pat on our own back once in a while. It's selfish to do all these things. And then we feel guilty because we just felt selfish. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of twisted up. And the thing is, that is not real, guys. That is not the case. When you're going through your life and you're going through a struggle, or even if you're going through a really good time in your life and everything just seems to be going well, we want to take that time to really give ourselves attention, give ourselves love, take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies. And if we don't know how to receive that, right, we don't know how to open ourselves up and receive that love and that compassion, we're not going to be able to give it very well either. And that's the thing. A long time ago, it was all about, first of all, you were taught, especially women, especially us women, we were taught to give first. We give first and get in return later, right? Or we give and we give and we give, and we're taught to really not receive. We're taught to always give, and that's what you do. And if you receive, that's great. If not, okay, I deal with it, right? No, that is actually it has been proven emotionally, it has been proven with just different, with coaches and even with just different people that have gone through this scientifically, it is proven that if you spend your life nothing but giving and giving and giving, and you don't open yourself up to receive, your giving is going to come down to where you can't give anymore. And that can be giving love, it can be giving compassion, it can be giving, offering, help, it can be given of yourself to help someone else. But if we don't receive and we don't open ourselves up to receiving that love and compassion for ourselves even, we're going to run out of giving to others. We're going to get burnt out. We're going to get stuck. And things are just going to start, it's just going to be, there's going to be no balance. Okay? So, and I have learned this too, that, I was always taught that you should give. And if you receive, be appreciative of it, right? But that's not how it works. That is not a balance. In order to give, in order to give to someone else and help others, you have to really, and you've heard me say this time and time again, you have to first start with you. You have to start with yourself. You have to love yourself first. You have to give yourself the utmost compassion, especially if you're going through a difficult time. And I've had a tendency to do this too, where, you're going through a difficult time and you just don't take the time to give yourself that nourishment, that craving that you have. You don't give yourself that nourishment for yourself. And when we do that, we just end up being a detriment to other people. So what I've learned this time is we're becoming more, especially within the coaching industry. I don't know where, what other industry you guys are in, if it's a little different. But I know in the coaching industry, it is more and more people are catching on to the self-love thing. And I'm not talking, I'm going to kind of explain this here. When I talk about self-love, I'm not talking about the conceited type of self-love. I'm not talking about, I love myself, I'm better than you, I'm perfect, I'm great, I'm awesome, and you guys, the rest of you guys are just below me. That is not the kind of self-love I'm talking about, okay? That kind of self-love is a very conceited and a very selfish kind of love. What I'm talking about self-love is I'm talking about allowing yourself to heal from your own wounds, heal from your own past. Take that time to nourish your body, nourish yourself with good food, nourish yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Emotionally connect with yourself and give all that love to your body, just all that love. When you reflect on that, and you reflect on taking care of yourself because you care so much for yourself, you love yourself so much that you want to take care of your body, what's going to happen is if you look at that standpoint from a selfish standpoint, in a way, yes. But here's the thing. If you learn to take care of you first, the people around you are going to benefit as well. Everybody's going to benefit from that. Because you're going to feel better, you're going to have self-confidence, you're going to have self-esteem, you're going to feel good. If you eat right and you eat all the good things, you're going to feel very healthy, you're going to be radiant, you're going to have lots of energy, you're going to just feel, amazing. And yeah, you're going to get your bad days, we all do. You're going to get a day or two where you're just like, oh, right? We all do. But what I'm saying is, if you nourish yourself first in all those areas of your life, the people around you are going to benefit from that. You're going to be able to give even more. You're going to be able to help people even further. You're going to be able to expand and carry the space for them. You're going to be able to create bigger spaces for those people in your life. And they will benefit. So really, when you look at, honoring the highs and lows in our life, a lot of times we think of honoring everything that's good, right? We want to, when we're in that beautiful moment where everything is going perfect, right? And there's no problems really. you're on top of the world, everything feels amazing, and it's just going very smoothly. Well, we don't really sit there and think about giving ourselves love and compassion through that, because we're already on top, right? We already feel good. Most of the time what will happen though is when people hit a low in their life and they hit a struggle, a roadblock, anything of that nature, instead of loving themselves and giving themselves that space to heal and work through it, they just kind of hate on themselves, right? They hate on themselves. And I've done this before. I went into a little bit of this on my live. If you guys go back and listen to my Facebook Live that I did a few days ago, if you haven't. And it kind of ties into this in a way. Is if you're hating on yourself for all the things that you've done wrong, or your mistakes or your struggles, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna continue that cycle. You're gonna continue that hate cycle with yourself. You're gonna hate everything about you. You're gonna hate your life. You're gonna hate. Everything just turns into being or just getting you so frustrated and so mad all the time. But if you turn it around and you look back and see how much, maybe see how much you've grown through the experience, create that healing around it, you're going to be able to bloom and blossom. And I know, I'm going to take a drink here, guys. I've been talking a lot today, doing different videos and everything. But if we do that, you're really going to notice the difference in how you feel. If you look at it from not a conceited love, but from a self-love aspect. And this is a new concept. This is actually kind of a new way of thinking from the majority. And I don't expect everybody to understand this at first, because I know I didn't. When I first heard about this self-love thing and this self-care and this going within yourself first and taking care of you first, to me it sounded very conceited. I was like, at first I heard this the very first time I heard this was on a podcast. And I was sitting there going, oh yeah, right. Just because you think you're better, because you self-love, you love yourself, oh great. I looked at it wrong. That's not what it meant. And until I dug deeper into the self-love thing and the self-care thing, then I realized, well, wait a minute, that's not crazy. Because we can't take care of others if we don't take care of ourselves, and I've said it before. So if you're thinking, the patterns I think to be looking at here is for your own life, when you're in the struggle and you're down there, going through whatever, or whether you're way up here and life's perfect for you right now, in both directions and everything in between, okay? Be very conscious of your mindset during this time. Be very conscious of what you're thinking about yourself. Be very mindful of where your thoughts are going at this time. Like, are you beating yourself up all the time because you're feeling like crap? Are you on that high and you feel like nothing can bring you down, that you're the best in sliced bread, and your crap don't stink type of thing? If your attitude is like that like if your attitude is like, if your crap don't stink, you need to check yourself, because that is not self-love. Okay, that is self-conceit. That is conceited. And you don't want to be like that, because that's not going to help you. It's not going to help anybody. So just be mindful of your thought process as you're doing things and whatever you're going through in your life. And you'd be surprised, guys. You would actually be surprised what you will come up with when you take a good look at things. Like when I was doing my book, or the other night when I was working on that chapter, I actually, from a perspective, read back, because I would read back things to myself. I'd read it out loud because it helps me kind of process and go through, the writing process. And I was doing that, and I was like, I had this tendency at first to just want to beat myself up, going, man, I've gone through all this stuff, and I wanted to play, I was thinking, oh, well, going back and playing the victim mode, and I'm like, no. This is the story of my life. This is what happened to me. How can I take that and feel good about myself and love myself through this process? Because I know now that I have gained more wisdom, I've gained more perspective, I've learned a lot of lessons. And how can I take that and turn it into something beautiful and to be able to give to somebody else that's maybe going through something? So yeah, definitely, guys, honor the highs, honor the lows. It doesn't matter if you're feeling like crap. Honor that. Take some time. Do whatever you got to do to get through it. And what I've discovered is a lot of self-healing within myself over the last, I would want to say, the last 6 months. In these last 6 months, truly since the beginning of this year, we're actually in the 7th month now, but around 6 or 7 months, I have really created for myself this space for myself to really start the healing process of all these things that have happened to me. I'm continually on the healing process. And if we do that and we allow ourselves to heal from our from our past, from our wounds, and I'm not talking physical wounds necessarily. I'm not talking physical wounds. I'm talking internal. Okay, internally. And if we allow ourselves to heal from that and give ourselves all the love in the world, you're going to find that you're going to be able to excel in your business better if you have a business. You're going to be able to excel better in your life. And even if you have a job right now, if you're out there working a regular job, it still applies to you too. Because if you allow for that healing, you're going to find that in your job, if you really kind of like what you do and you're happy at that point, you're going to start excelling in that too. And that can lead you to a promotion. That can lead you to your boss being happier with you, right? If you're in business for yourself, you're an entrepreneur like me, it's going to allow you to be able to have more success in your life. It's going to be able to open up your creativity levels, your focus, your concentration. It's going to be able to, accelerate what so far we've been, and accelerate into a higher level in your life. It will allow for that if you allow for it. And I always say that because there were times I've had to really look at what has been going on in my life, and coming from a denial perspective, and I kind of talked about this too in my life, if you're denying it and you're denying where you are right now in your life, then you're not going to see any of it. You're not going to see anything. And then when someone else brings up to you something about, you're going to be more likely to be judgmental about yourself. You're going to more likely get down on yourself. You're going to talk, the negative self-talk will come in more often. You're just going to go into this downward spiral. And we all do it. Whether we admit it, whether we don't admit it, we all do it. And I can come to a point now where I can actually admit these things, where I was in denial for many years about what was going on in my life. I didn't know. Mainly because I wasn't taught these things. In life, most of the time, we are not taught mindset. We are not taught how to really know who we truly are on an intimate, deep level. We're not taught these things. It's either we learn them ourselves, or we just skate through life just denying everything and not wanting to even look in because we're scared, right? So, be gentle with yourself when you're going through things in life. That's my best advice to you guys is, and honoring those moments in your life doesn't have to be a huge thing. I think like Toby one time he talked about, you've heard him several times before, it doesn't have to be a major, huge, significant thing. It could be the smallest thing that you could do for yourself. You know, I mean, you know, we as humans, we really feel guilty, I think, sometimes when we give a pat on our back because it feels conceited and it feels like, well, I'm better. Sometimes we need that, though. And I'm not saying you go crazy and go, oh, yeah, I'm so proud of myself. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you give yourself the love. You pat yourself on the back and say, tell yourself, I thank you. Thank you for, tell yourself thank you, first of all. Be thankful for where you're at. Tell yourself, I'm proud of you for getting as far as you have. Like, look yourself in the mirror. And, sorry about that, guys. My phone was going off. Be proud of yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am proud of you for getting as far as you have come. And that actually, this brings me to a really good idea or thought. The other day I was listening to a podcast, because you guys know I stay plugged in a podcast a lot. And I was actually listening to a podcast that, again, especially for women, and men can do this too, obviously it's for both. It's for everybody who really feels like they want to do this. But it's really healing. Very healing process. Imagine yourself, okay, and especially if you're going through a struggle right now, this is a really good time to do this. Lay on the floor, or on your bed, or on the couch, wherever, just lay down somewhere, okay? Somewhere kind of comfortable. And close your eyes, and pretend like, and this is going to sound strange, okay? Pretend like you're laying there and your how would I say this? Your spirit, or your, like a ghost, your spirit self comes up and you're looking down on yourself laying there. So you come up and you're looking down on yourself laying here, and you're laying there kind of just really stuck, really in this, and bear with me for a moment. You're feeling really bad about yourself. You're beating up on yourself. You're at this moment where you're just low self-esteem. You just don't feel good about yourself whatsoever. But then your other self comes up and is looking at you. And your other self tells you, I am so sorry for doing this to you. I am so sorry for putting you through this for so many years that you've done. I'm so sorry for doing this to you. I love you. I care for you. I want you to really be happy. And I am so proud of you for getting as far as you come. You're, in essence, telling yourself this while you're laying there. I know. It seems strange. I heard that and I was like, okay, that's very different. But then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, that is not so different. That is not so strange. By you telling yourself that you tell yourself you're sorry for putting yourself through these things, and then come up with a positive thing that you're proud to how far you've come, and love yourself through it, feel the compassion through it, be thankful and grateful for you. And as you're sitting there with your eyes closed and you're thinking this and you're pretending like you're higher, yourself is looking down on you, laying on the floor. It's like those out-of-body experiences. I guess that's the best way to explain it. It's like when people talk about the out-of-body experiences where their self comes up and is looking down on them kind of thing, like in the movies. Think of it like that. And you're sitting there talking to yourself, telling yourself these things. And then you extend your arm out, like you're laying there, and you extend your arm out, and you kind of, and this is weird, you kind of take your other hand, and you just kind of do this, and because you're pretending like you're pulling your own self up, basically. and you're offering a hand to help. Hey, you got this. I know you can do it. And you kind of think about pulling yourself up, getting yourself back up off the floor in forgiveness, in love, and compassion. Once you kind of do that exercise, and it's a little strange, I will admit, it's a little off the wall. And if you guys are listening to me and you're thinking, I'm just lost it and I'm crazy and I don't know, I just pretty much lost it, that's okay. I don't mind that, take what you want and leave the rest, guys. But if you find that that's helpful and you do it yourself, you forgive yourself for all the things that you've ever done to yourself, that starts the healing process. And then you can start moving forward from there and really start giving yourself the love and compassion through all the things, right? I hope this has made sense. I know it's a little bit different. That practice is a little strange at first. I actually did this the other night. My husband was in the shower, and I actually didn't even think to tell him. I pretty much spaced it. And I did this with myself, and the experience I got from it was like, wow, I felt kind of liberated. Like, what I was talking about last week about feeling liberated and feeling free. It actually made me feel a little liberated because I forgave myself for treating myself that way all those years. Now, when you do that, is that going to completely cure you? You're going to be great. Life's going to be wonderful. It's going to be peaches and cream and rainbows and like unicorns and no. Okay. It doesn't work like that. What that does is, because we're all going to continue to grow. We're all going to continue to go through struggles and have obstacles that we need to overcome. We're going to continue that because that is the way life goes. But how you deal with it is a whole nother way. It's a whole nother aspect. So if every time you feel like you're going to beat yourself up and just like really make yourself feel bad and guilty for all the stuff you've done, remember that exercise. If you have to do it again, you can do that exercise on the floor as many times as you want. It's not just one time and you're cured, okay? You got to continue to work with yourself. Forgive yourself every day. We make mistakes all the time. I make mistakes every single day. And, if we do that every day and we don't have, you don't have to do that exercise every day. I'm just saying when you start feeling that way, you might want to try that and feel how liberating and how free it makes you feel after you've done that and say, it's okay. We got this, right? Tell yourself, we got this. I forgive you. I'm proud of you. Let's move forward. And you're going to find what I did. Everybody's going to be different, okay? But what I found with that experience is that it made me feel so much better. And I can, little by little, heal from some of those things in the past. I can, little by little, heal from that. Now, will you heal 100%? No, probably not, because everybody's had really significant things, I'm sure, that's happened in your life. And we're human, so because we're human, we're not going to fully be able to just forget that time and forget those moments. And, you kind of think, oh, well, I forgot that moment. I'm never going to think about it again. And that was a bad time. And I'm just going to deny it. And it's not real. You can't do that. It's part of you. It's your past. It's what happened. You will never go through the rest of you. Will never forget things. You can forgive. Okay, but you can't forget. Because it's part of what happened to you. It's part of your human experience. And that's okay. That's what being human is all about. So I know I've gone a little deep off the edge here, guys, but I think it was so called for, and I think it ties in really good with what I was talking about on my Facebook Live the other day, if you guys will go back and listen to that. So next time you feel like you're just off and not feeling too good, try to honor yourself and love yourself through the highs and lows of your life. And I think that you'll find you'll start feeling a little bit better about how things are going. And when those hard times do hit, you'll be able to bounce back quicker, I think, from that. I know I have. I've been able to just kind of bounce back a little faster, I think, than I used to. Because I would let things get me down for like days, weeks, months, years. And I think by recognizing all these patterns that I've gone through, I'm able to bounce back a little quicker. Okay? So hopefully guys, this has helped. I know I love sharing these experiences with you. I love sharing from the heart with you guys. And that's how come I think, for me, life coaching is just a wonderful, wonderful industry. I love it. And even though I'm in the beginning stages, I feel so liberated by helping people. And it helps me at the same time as you guys. It helps me grow along with you guys. So it's just been a really good experience. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say today on that. I mean, it's amazing how, if you just open yourself up to what you can experience in your life and what you can see, it's beautiful if you allow it. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to close out for now. I hope this has been helpful. And again, stay tuned for next week. Again, I'll be on the Coffee Break Conversations. Catch me on YouTube. Please, definitely, guys, go on to YouTube and to my channel. I'm actually going to put up a post on Facebook again to give you guys that link. You can also connect with my video on there. So if you really, really, really like this and it's speaking to you from a deep level, definitely subscribe, and that way you get all my updates all the time. Again, if you have any comments or anything that you took from this that helped you, maybe you disagree with what I said, and that's okay. Definitely post what your comments are, what you liked about it. We also look for ideas on maybe other subjects. I like to say this all the time to keep you guys in the loop and everything. If you want to hear a certain subject and hear us talk about something, let us know in the comments. And that way we can really tailor more of our subjects to what you guys are interested in. And that way we can have a deeper level with each other, I think, in communication and just knowing what you guys are interested in. Okay, guys, well, you take care. Have a really, really, really good weekend. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.